Tide fans, come on in, let's huddle up. I want to talk with you about the situation dealing with the Crimson Tide and our tough loss up in Columbia, South Carolina last week. Naturally, those of us that saw the game knew we were outperformed. The Gamecocks played the best game that they ever dreamt about playing. Coach Spurrier, having had that extra week to prepare, certainly did a great job with their defense and offense. I mean, I don't believe sitting here right now on this Tuesday that the Tide's running game could be shut down so efficiently that we could be outperformed by anyone in the country. You have to wonder what happens to players. I've been through this so many times. I try to figure out why were we so flat? Why was the Tide so incapable of putting together enough positive plays? And it could have had something to do with the big win over Florida, the big win over Arkansas. You get full of yourself, players. We get the feeling like we're not going to lose, we're so good, we'll get it together at the time that we need to get it together. Before the kickoff of last Saturday's game, when the Tide came onto the field, I looked at my friend Mr. Bite and I said, wow, you know, they're looking calm and they're looking like they've been there before in the arena. They're not jumping all over the place, you know, wasting energy. They look like they know what they're doing going into this battle. And I really feel like the Tide was prepared, knowing what they're supposed to do. You just don't get the same performance out of your body, your physiology, when there's a sense of urgency and respect for an opponent. When there's that sense of urgency, man, you got to be able to execute with poise. And having been there the last couple of weeks in hostile, well, at least not at home against Florida, it was a great environment at home, but having experienced the high of beating a team of Florida's caliber on top of having beaten Arkansas, I just think we were flat and didn't know it. You don't know when you're flat all the time. Well, we got outperformed. So, what happens? How do we feel after something like that? I was on a team in 1962 that was the defending national champions. I was a sophomore, of course, so we sophomores didn't take part as national champions except in practicing against the varsity. But in 1962, we went over to Georgia Tech in Atlanta, our 9th game of the season. We were ranked #1 in the country, and we were the defending national champions. We lost to Georgia Tech that day, 7-6. Trying to put in words what it feels like to an athlete, what it felt like to me, to have that dream squashed with that loss of being able to become champions again, hurts so badly. It doesn't leave for days at least. It doesn't leave for a lifetime. You always remember that game. I always have remembered that 7-6 loss to Georgia Tech when we were #1 in the country. Defending national champions. The next week we go out, we beat Auburn 38-0. We go down to the Orange Bowl and play Oklahoma. Yeah, Bud Wilkinson Sooner, we shut them out 17-0. We had the best team in the country. We were convinced of that, but we slipped up. The Tide slipped up in Columbia last week, and a lessons to be learned for each individual on that team. A lesson to be learned individually about how it stinks when you lose once again or you fail at something, but a lesson to be learned to be thankful. You've got a chance to improve. You've got a chance to come back. You can't turn your back and say, okay, well, we lost that. What else are we going to do? Life doesn't work that way. Life works constantly by giving people choices, changes constantly, and we get knocked down a lot. These young fellas on the team have got to toughen up, understand what has transpired, and then they need to recommit, as Coach Saban says, we got to recommit to being better each and every single day in practice, in preparation. That's the only way you can become the champions. All right? All of we fans, we lose an edge on understanding, hey, we're not going to win the national championship this year. There's a real likelihood that we won't have the opportunity. But we have a chance. We have a chance to get better. And beginning with Mississippi and homecoming, well, actually beginning with the first meeting that Coach Saban had with the team, I'm sure that they're focused on improving. All right, learn from the loss. That loss is going to stay with the players from now on. From now on, the rest of their lives, they're going to remember that. But how they come back after that loss is going to be more important than that memory of the loss. It's going to be more important because they're going to grow. They're going to know how to fight, how to get better, how to do the harder things with this challenge. Oh, it's disgusting. I haven't even had a chance to shave since that game, man. Look at me. Yeah, and I know a lot of you fans are worn out. But what are we going to do? We're going to go out there this coming Saturday night and get behind the Tide. Get ready for those Ole Miss Rebels, and we're just going to pour it out there and give it the best shot we possibly can. I'm going to talk to you before the game comes Saturday and give you my fix on our team at that time and what we're looking to Mississippi, their personnel, and see what we're up against. But until that time, I'm going to keep feeling this loss to South Carolina, and I know you're going to keep feeling it for a while. We need to take it and turn it into a positive. Easier said than done, huh? It's hard, but we make the plan to get better, make the personal commitments to get better. The team's going to get better once again. Roll Tide. We'll be back this Saturday.